I knew something was off the moment I turned onto the street. Cars lined both sides in a way they never did on holidays, too many angled carelessly, like people had arrived assuming they'd be staying. I slowed anyway, pulled into the driveway I'd used since high school, and cut the engine. Through the front window, I could see movement. Steam from the kitchen. A burst of laughter. I didn't get far. My uncle stepped out the side of the house, jacket already on, keys in his hand as if he'd been assigned the job. He didn't say my name. He didn't say hello. "You weren't invited," he said. "Go home." He stood where the driveway narrowed, forcing me to stop. It was efficient. Practiced. I nodded once, not trusting my voice. Over his shoulder, the dining room came into focus. My mom leaning back in her chair, relaxed. My sister's head tipped toward my best friend as they laughed at something I couldn't hear. The table was full. No empty place. I nodded again, got back in my car. I didn't cry. That surprised me. What I felt was a tightening, like everything unnecessary had been packed away. I drove 2 blocks and parked near the elementary school, the one with the faded mural and the flag that always looked a little tired. I sat there and made one call. It was short. I gave my name, confirmed an account number, and asked for a change to take effect immediately. The woman on the other end repeated it back to me, careful and calm. Authority has a tone. This had it. "Okay," she said. "That's done." I thanked her and hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone started vibrating. At first it was texts, question marks, then names, then calls. Missed calls stacking on the screen like a countdown. I didn't answer. I watched the clock on the dashboard tick forward, 1 red minute at a time. When I finally picked up, it was my uncle again. His voice had lost its certainty. "What did you do?" he demanded. I corrected something I said. He started shouting. In the background, I could hear other voices rising, chairs scraping, someone crying. It wasn't a single scream. It was a room discovering instability all at once. I hung up. Here's the part people don't see when they hear a story like this. The call wasn't a weapon I'd been waiting to use. It was a responsibility I'd quietly carried for years. The house wasn't in my name, but the utilities were. The catering deposit. The short-term event insurance my mom insisted on every year, just in case. I'd handled it because I was good at handling things. Because no one else wanted to. Support becomes invisible when it's reliable. My sister texted next. "This is so petty." Then, a minute later, "Please answer." Then, Mom is freaking out." I didn't respond. I sat in the car and let the afternoon unfold without me. Families think holidays are about food. They're about assumptions. About who will absorb the friction so everyone else can relax. Another call. My best friend this time. Her voice was breathless, confused. "They said you did something. Why would you do this today?" I stared at the school playground across the street, empty swings creaking in the wind. "Because today was when they told me to leave," I said. There was a pause, not denial, recognition. "I didn't know," she said. "I know," I replied, and I meant it. That didn't make it easier. By the time I drove away, the sun had dropped low enough to flatten the light. I went to a diner that still served turkey specials like an apology. I ordered coffee and sat by the window. My phone buzzed intermittently, the tone changing as panic gave way to bargaining. "We can fix this. Just turn it back on. You've made your point." I thought about the driveway, about my uncle's certainty, about how cleanly everyone had continued without me. I didn't turn anything back on that day. Not out of spite, out of clarity. Boundaries work best when they're boring and firm. That night, my mom left a voicemail. Her voice shook, but it wasn't anger that moved me. It was confusion. "I don't understand why you're doing this to us," she said. "It's Thanksgiving." I listened twice. Then I deleted it. In the days that followed, things rearranged themselves. Accounts were transferred. Responsibilities redistributed with a lot of noise and very little gratitude. Invitations stopped, then resumed cautiously, as if proximity might trigger consequences. I didn't rush to explain. I didn't write a long message tying everything together. The call had said enough. We haven't had another Thanksgiving like that. We might never. Some relationships thinned. Others held in new, quieter ways. My best friend apologized months later, in a cafe, eyes on her hands. I accepted it without promising anything more. What stayed with me wasn't the screaming. It was the nod. The moment I chose to leave without pleading. Dignity doesn't announce itself. It gets in the car and drives away, then makes the call it should have made a long time ago.